Are you ready to find out how to use video for your brand? Keep watching.
Hi, my name's Clive Roach. I've got Ieva with us today, and my first question to you, Ieva, is why would you recommend that we should use video?
Hi, Clive. Thanks for having me. There are many reasons why every brand should use videos, but today I'll give you two. First of all, our brain is wired to memorize things visually, and we've been hearing for years about the importance of visual communication. But why limit yourself to only the picture if you can combine the sound and text into it? Video has it all from A to Z, so it's really easy for people to remember the information they see in videos, and you want your brand to be remembered. Another reason is simple. Your audience wants to see videos, and I have some data to prove it. Clive, can I share my screen?
Yes, please.
Look at that. Video is number one thing your audience wants to see. It varies between continents, but it's always the number one. That's why brands have to use video.
So, Ieva, where should you begin when you decide that you want to make a video?
Very important question, Clive, and thanks for asking. A very common mistake that we see with marketers is they start making videos just because everyone else is doing so. And that's not a way to go. The number one thing you do is you start with a strategy. And I guess that's the same for other marketing activities too. So please apply it to video. As a starting point to find the strategy for your video, you can start by looking into customer journey and see which part of the customer journey your video will contribute to. So if we look at awareness, consideration, purchase, and advocacy, find out which of these four links is the missing one for your brand and make a video for it. And then depending on how you decide to position it, you apply a certain video strategy and you answer a certain question. More on that you can read in the blog.
Okay, that's great, Ieva. So now I've got a question about storytelling. So that's a nice topic for me. I really like storytelling. So how best should you incorporate storytelling when you're using video?
First, I would like to tell that storytelling is very powerful because it can help translate even complicated ideas into something that your audience can relate to. And that's why it's worth looking into storytelling and how to apply it in your video. For starters, you should always think about three-act structure. In the first act, you should paint the picture, give the context, where is the question arising from and why it's important. And the act two, go into action. How did you find out that this question is important? How did you find the answer? What did it take you to get to that answer? And in act three, give the resolution and conclusion. You should never leave your audience hanging. They want to know how this ends, and it has to have an end. If you follow this three-act structure, I'm sure your video will be successful. But also remember that it can be used outside of video, even in social media posts. Next time you write one, think about it.
So now that question about horizontal versus vertical on the phone. So we've been talking about horizontal so far. What about vertical? What advice would you give for that?
Well, we know that vertical is important because it's estimated that by 2022, 79% of total mobile data traffic will be consumed on a mobile phone. And if you take a look at it, our normal holding position is vertical. So when making videos, we have to consider that people spend most of their time on mobile phones. That's why we need to adapt the format that we produce our videos in. This way, we lower the threshold for our audience to engage with our content. And this is very well exploited by Instagram with the new functions of IGTV and Instagram stories. And why it works so well is because once the video takes up the whole screen, there are no distractions. You can't see comments or pop-up notifications. So you can fully focus on what is being said in the video. Of course, I'm not saying that it's a silver bullet that will work for everyone in any case. You have to know your audience. You need to know what works for your audience. But what I'm saying is you shouldn't be afraid to experiment and go vertical sometimes. Make sure you find out what works best for your brand.
Excellent. That's an excellent answer. Great. Thank you very much, Eva.
Thank you, Clive.